Yes, Wagwan Beast Boxing Basement, the alliteration channel. Should be right here tonight. Yeah, I'm just gonna freestyle this. Talk about whatever comes into my head. This is my new. I got my new. What's it called? Microphone now. So I'm hoping that things will be clearer. All them scratching noises won't happen anymore. And yeah, the should be feeling good, man. I've been getting down the gym. I've been getting down the gym. Yesterday I went there, and there was a lot of females there. But you know, it made me feel better than before, because these women were not dressed in that bizarre extra tight spandex that goes up the batty hole and all that sickness. There's some very pretty girls, and they were fairly modest. You know, some nice blonde, wholesome ladies. Yeah, they had leggings on, but not that ridiculous tight span, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. Some kind of new fabric that goes right up the batty crease. So there wasn't that. You know, there's a nice Eastern European girl checking out the Triple B. You know, I know she's East European. You can tell by the face, man. Pretty, a bit elegant. You know, she ain't acting like no sket neither. Yeah, I mean, even like the you know, East European prostitutes act with a bit of class. You get me? You know, they still hold themselves like women, even though they're obviously slags. I mean, you know, I don't go down that path to anybody. Is what I suggest. It's a ruinous path. But yeah, this nice Eastern European. She's wearing modestly. She's wearing a t-shirt. You know, a normal t-shirt, not tight and anything. She had her pants. What do you call it? Her shorts were quite short, but they, you know, had nice legs. There's a couple of other females, you know, wearing, like I said, normal t-shirts, you know, and I thought, you know, that's the maximum you should wear, even that, you know, that's it, man. You should probably cover your hair too, you know. People don't realize, like, people say, oh, Islam got it right about women. Some people do, you know, but yeah, the whole Middle East, the whole Abrahamic religions was the same, you know. If you read in the Bible, it says women should cover their hair and dress modestly, all that kind of stuff. What is disgusting sluts and all that kind of thing has been happened recently in the Western world. That's been brought in by people that control the media. Yeah, you know, the entertainment, music, films, pornography, all that sickness. Yeah, the people that have said they're going to degrade you, degrade your families, break down family values, make you obsess. With getting your Zex on. Yeah, they've even said it, man. Anyway, yeah, so I felt a bit more home, so I get down the gym, man. Yeah, I'm feeling quite good down the gym. On my way, I took the, what's it called, the bus. I went for a little walk around the bus, right? And so yeah, I got on the bus, and yeah, there was this, I don't want to sound mean, there was an imbecile on the bus screaming quite loudly, you know. Well, quite irritated because I was buzzed all off my like supplements and caffeines. I don't mean no Debo stuff. I mean the creatine and legal supplements, man. I don't want to touch that Debo, make a man crazy blood. I could have flipped, snapped someone in half. Yeah, last time, the only time I took it for 2 months, like one guy, you know, I was sitting in the bar, mind my own business. This guy, no, he starts jabbing me in the ribs. You know, what's happening, Triple B? Like, stop doing that. Don't touch me. He's like, oh, come on, blood. He's had a couple too many drinks. He keeps on prodding me. I said, do that once more, man. I'm gonna throw you around the room. Yeah, and he fucking did it again. And he started running away. Oh, man, I leapt off my seat, blood. I was like a Superman or something. Boom, grabbed him. Yeah. I don't know, back in the day when I was a teenager, I did some judo. I'd never done it for like years, but suddenly it came out, whoa, boom. I did it like a hip throw. I can't remember what the Japanese name is. He went over, and then I landed on top of him, like sitting on his chest, holding his hands like, I told you not to do that. You do that again, I'll fucking kill you. Listen, Chibita, I don't want to fight you. I'm looking at this prick going, mate, there ain't no fighting, man. It's me killing you. Or me letting you go. There ain't no fight. No, Chubby. I don't want to fight you. I said, and you know, that wound me up even more. But I pulled him out. I said, you do that again. I said, never touch me again. You understand? Blood, I don't want to fight. I said, shut up and get out. Yeah. I was a bit shocked. I felt a bit guilty because I wasn't in control of myself. And like, boom! But it was quite impressive. Everyone was like sitting there, like all the girls, with their mouth open. Yeah. I bet the women was like, I don't want to be creepy, but when they see an alpha male take care of business, you know, they can't help it, women, but they like it, man. I'm not saying it in a sexual sense. I'm not going to get down that disgusting path of saying they'll turn down, but like, blood clot, that's a Chad. That man took care of business. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, yeah, what was I saying? The imbecile on the bus. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to use that word. I don't know what else to use. A retard. I don't know, retard. You know, and you know, I was buzzing on these, like, too much caffeine probably, and supplements. I don't know if they work. But creatine does. I don't know if the other supplements work. I've done some research, and allegedly they do. All these kind of different natural supplements. I also read a book, by the way, how to increase your test. Well, the book's about all kinds of things. I can't remember the guy who read a really interesting book. It's like the 5-Day Body, I think it's called, and it's very interesting. And one of the things is how to make a woman bust a nut really easily. Well, she don't bust a nut, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, bring it to the whatever, and it works. I tried that before. But also things like diet and how to raise your test naturally involves eating grass-fed beef, yeah, fermented cod oil, loads, a certain number of eggs, other stuff I can't remember, but you know, and he tested his test every time, and it was as effective as all the you know, the tablets and that. He's an American. They give you all kinds of stuff for free, and not free, so it's a prescription, but what I mean is I'll dash you a prescription real easily, a script real easy in America for tests. But so you can raise your test naturally. I can feel my test rising, man. And this is why these women shouldn't be hanging around, you know, wearing spandex, because, you know, the chippy can feel the test rising, you know. I don't know, man. In caveman days, you know, a woman walking like that around the alpha male, she gets grabbed, and you take care of business. But obviously, I'm civilized. I'm Christian, so there's not going to be no graping. There's going to be no graping. But believe that, you know, I feel like a man now. Again, a man. Yeah? Like Sonny Edwards thought he was a man. And then he tried to confront the triple. I know who you are. I'm going to come over your house. Listen, you pussy hole. You're not going to come out my house because you're a fucking pussy hole. I know it's you, Sonny. Huh? I will tear you to pieces, you pussy hole. Anyway, and he didn't even eat. He was fed wrong information by a fat pink pig who was fed wrong information from a guy with a very, very poor prefrontal lobe development. Idiots, man, embarrassed, humiliated. Anyway, yeah, but this imbecile, no, you know, it's funny because it's going to sound weird, but he was almost quite good looking. Like, he didn't. But, you know, obviously there's something that went wrong in the DNA, and I as a Christian, you know, sometimes it makes my heart heavy. But then I think, you know, the devil's active here, and you know, messes with people, and it also teaches us people that are vulnerable. It teaches you animals and people that are vulnerable. It teaches you to be a human, a loving person, look after people, be kind. Yeah. So, you know, I was like, you know, I felt kindness. I feel kindness towards vulnerable people, old ladies I help all the time. I mean, seriously, a lot of retards talk to me. I always talk to them in a nice way. Yeah, you got to show some love. I think it's a test of a man's humanity, you know. Yeah, but I was going past, right? This is in the middle of, well, I won't say what part of London, right? But and I look out the window, and there's a gypsy. Like, by this I mean, like, there's various types of gypsies. I'm not expert. Obviously, a lot of the gypsies we have in the UK are Irish travellers, so they're originally from Ireland. But then you get Romany travellers that originate from India, in actual fact. But I think the DNA's been watered down a lot. So, like, you know, you get English travellers like Billy Joe Saunders, who are very, very white. But then you get the very tanned, real Romany travellers that, you know, there's a lot of India, Romania, Italy, places like that. And this is one of them travellers, like a Romanian, what's it called? Romanian traveller, yeah. And this woman walking around with her hubby, you you know. And I noticed that, and I respect that in the gypsy communities. Like, the woman always carries and looks after the kid. The man, well, he's got to protect the woman. Yeah, they're from more traditional societies. None of these pussy old men carrying their babies around, you know, on their front. You know, it's by all means be nice to your kid and that, but you know, don't be a pussy old man. You still got to be a man. You always got to be ready to defend the woman. That's why the woman carries the child. I like that traditional stuff. But she had both tits out. She had one kid on the hip. Yeah. No, sorry, excuse me. She had one in a stroller, whatever it's called, a pram. Yeah, and one like on the hip with both her titties out. Both her titties out, and it's raining as well. Yeah, she's walking around with both her titties out, and one of the babies on the hip or whatnot, and it's it's feeding. It's feeding. And I was like, blood clot. You know, I don't agree with that kind of stuff. You know, you're walking around like nothing, and both her titties hanging out. Walking and feeding. I mean, multitasking, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that was quite weird. And like, I always have some adventures. Something always going on, man. I like Mario Balotelli. Why always me? There's always something going. There's always me. I'm always involved in some weirdness. Okay. But yeah, back to boxing. So I've been I ain't buying boxing news more often. I started getting nostalgic a bit, right? Because it was like the highlight of when I was a youth to see boxing news, man. You know, it's a bit tragic, but I was a kid, you know. What's the highlight of your life? Getting boxing news. Then I discovered Pum Pum and partying. Of course, things get a bit different then, you know. Pum Pum, partying followed by Pum Pum is then number one, but you can't rely on it. You know that your boxing news is coming out every Friday or Wednesday it was, and now it's moved to Thursday. I mean, it's changed days, but you always know when it's coming out. But it's a bit better. I think I know the people at Boxing News listen to the Triple B. Yeah, I know that because I've done some videos that I've named them, that I've called them out on Alejandro Ayala, and that's why they did that. That's why that Elliot Warsell, the fake intellectual, the fake intellectual who writes a bit, you know, tries to write a bit flowery. He says some funny things sometimes, but you know, did that Alejandra BJ piece, which is just, oh, it's all so great, oh, it's so good, she's fine, not addressing a single problem, as in why she was allowed to fight, even though she had a brain irregularity, why she was almost killed. Let's not fuck about it. Why she was almost killed in the ring, and Boxing News didn't even mention it. They didn't even talk about it to Robert Smith when they interviewed him. Scumbags. But so I went back to the Boxing News, and there's a lot less about women's boxing. I said they listened. I mean, they heard. Triple B saying, I ain't buying this shit no more, because of all the women's crap. But they've reduced that. You know, it fills me with a bit of nostalgia. I won't buy it every time. I'm not gonna get a what's that thing called? I'm not gonna get a subscription. But you know, if there's a big fight, well, I'll look at the title, and if there's something good, I'll get it. But the last few weeks they've been advertising a special on the back page, a special collector's edition. Yeah, they do these little special editions. Sometimes they're like these sort of books, or like bookazine they call them. Yeah, they're about tenner for 100 pages. And this one's Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton's done one for the fans. Hey, yeah, the Mancunian who conquered the boxing world. Nobody thought I could do it, says Ricky Hatton. And that's really pissed me off, man. Apart from seeing his stupid smug face. Now, I tell you before, right? I was a Ricky Hatton fan for years. I've been to several of his fights and paid a lot of money. Okay? Yeah, I went abroad for one of his things. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was good. From 18, they were like, this guy should be a world champion. Nobody thought I could do it, says Ricky Hatton. Loads of people thought you would do it. You were. Everyone had their eyes on you before you even turned pro, man. You get me? You know, people would have been surprised if you didn't get a world title. Maybe he's referring specifically to the Garcia fight. If you remember, Garcia and Hatton was evens. I remember that. In fact, Hatton might have been the slight favourite because they knew the bookies are very good at probability. They knew Hatton's backyard, because he's getting a bit old. Frank Warren will not take unnecessary risks with his charges. I mean, he does mess up, like Daniel Dubom, Joe Joyce, and Joe Joyce's Zhilei Zhang. Maybe Frank doesn't know much about the heavyweights, but generally, when he's grooming guys, you get me, he will, you know, time it very well. He's very good at timing, and that's what he did with Hatton. And nobody thought I could do it. Yes, they did. That's why it was evens. If nobody thought he'd do it, it'd be about 20-1 because no one wanted to bet on it. Yeah, what a stupid thing to say. It really bugs me when people say Joe Calzaghe does it well. They were, what do you say? You know, there's nobody who thought I could beat Jeff Lacey. Yes, there was. It was evens, and I bet on you. I bet £100 on you to beat Lacey. Huh? Obviously, I thought you would win. Yeah, should be about £100 on you. Also, I think I bet about £25 on Hatton to win. You know, they weren't great odds, but I just thought the timing's right, both of them. And Calzaghe, I just thought he's way superior to Jazzy Jeff Lacey with his steroid muscles. I was right both times. So don't give me that shit. Nobody thought I could do it. Stop crying, man. Sure, we thought you could do it. Yeah, obviously, plenty of other people did. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been even. So yeah, that really pisses me off. And I got a little surprise for Ricky Hatton at the end of the video, just to show what I think about that. Anyway, just to show what I think about it. Nobody thought I could do it, but I did it for the funds. Like after COVID and lockdowns, they want to see me against Marco Antonio Barrera, me funds, and they want to see me in a gimp mask and wearing women's clothes. I like Ricky until he turned to degenerate. I mean, I don't just mean having a few drinks is fine, you know. But or sniffing Charlie, it's not great, but it's okay. People do that, that's fine. Well, I'm talking about the dressing up in gimp mask, making endless like creepy videos, you know, quasi-sexual videos and dressing in women's clothes. You know what you're doing, man. You've been told to do that, you blood clot. Yeah, but boxing news ain't off no hook because it's the right stupid stuff, right? So the boxing news has got oh, what a night. Late in April, back in 23, 2 fights were everything we dreamed they'd be. Hang on a minute. They're talking about Cordina, beating Rakimov. That was a good fight. Yeah, that was a good fight. Cordina boxed very well. Rakimov was very tough. That was a good, solid world title fight. Fair enough. But Gervonta Davis over Garcia was everything we dreamed they'd be. Well, hang on a minute. Garcia was never in the fight. He landed a few jabs in the first round. He could have been in the fight if he prepared properly. He hadn't been such a quitter. You know, how can I fight? Oh, it's all we dreamed of, where it's one-sided and one guy quits on his knees like a pussy hole. Yeah, like a little crybaby he is, crying Queen Ryan. Yeah, but then you know, so because he's such a big name, and potentially if he'd won that, it would have been massive. You know, they wouldn't have stopped talking about him, and they would go to hyperbole, you know, melodrama about how amazing. Oh, a new superstar is born if he'd won. You know, Gervonta Davis says he's the face of boxing. They kind of want him to lose, I think. Certainly De La Homo and boxing, because Ryan would have been, you know, just because of his looks would have been global. You know. Whereas Gervonta, don't know about him, but he's never going to. If Ryan had achieved what Gervonta Davis did, then he would be massive. Put it that way, you know. And there's talks that Bernard Hopkins, who I can't stand, Soapy Bernard he was called, because he used to apparently grape men in the showers. He used to soap himself up, so they couldn't. I don't know. I guess they couldn't grip him properly and push him, or I don't know what. I don't really know about the logistics of graping in prison. He used to soap himself up, and then grape men apparently, which is disgusting. You don't get 10 years for nothing. Oh, he made a mistake. No, he didn't. He would have done plenty of other stuff. I want to see his criminal charge. But you can actually look these things up actually these days on the internet. If you sign up to these sites, they'll find someone's whole criminal record and all that. I might have a look, but there's obviously something very, very violent to get, you know, to do 10 years in prison. Anyway, so he apparently went up behind Gavis, and he suddenly starts rubbing Gavis's back really creepily. Yeah, and I didn't want him to fall off the stage. He's not anywhere near there falling off the stage. He suddenly rubs. People say he was trying to rub some cream into Gervonta's back, like some testosterone cream. It's very easy to do, I suppose. I hadn't thought about it. Yeah, so that he might fail a test. And I was like thinking, well, hang on a minute. You know, if you really wanted Garcia to win, You could have agreed to a different weight clause without the rehydration, all that stuff. You could have done a lot more to get him to win. You could have taught him to like box properly and take advantage of his height and his reach and all that. But you know, and also like if Gervonta fails the test, well, it doesn't do Ryan that much good. Oh, I lost to a cheater. Oh, I lost to a cheater. No, well, you still quit, man, like a pussy hole, like a weak pussy hole. You still quit. Doesn't change that. The fact the guy was juicing like just about everyone else in boxing, by the way. Yeah. So I don't know. But they're trying to stitch him. Maybe they're just trying to stitch him up because he wasn't playing ball. He wasn't playing ball. I'm not necessarily saying that they wanted him to dive against Garcia, but there was something going on there. Something going on also, like, you know, the scoring. Didn't like two judges have it 9-10, 9-10. One had it 10-10 after Garcia got dropped quite heavily. He got up quickly, but quite heavily in the second round. That's just nonsense. Yeah, he might have been winning the round up in there. Usually they'll go 8-10 automatically if a guy gets dropped. I don't agree with that. I think there's plenty of times where someone just has a flash knockdown and they'll be dominating the round. They shouldn't lose it by 8-10 just because they went over very quickly. But that wasn't. It was a heavier knockdown than that. And you saw that because after that, Garcia didn't really take any risks, did he? Anyway, so that's just it's more boxing BS. More boxing BS, man. We ain't got much to look forward to this weekend. In fact, I don't know of any of the fights. Let's have a look. Yeah, as I thought, there's not much. There's a few fights. Yeah, Senbatar Erdenebat, who's the guy who, apparently the mole in Ryan's camp who hurt him with a body shot. He's fighting. He should win, but I guess I'm nobody. Oh, Diego De La Homo. So Diego De La Homo is Oscar's cousin, right? But he actually he's actually brought up in Mexico, so they probably don't know each other. But he's fighting. But I don't really care about that, man. The week after there'll be Joshua Buatsi and what's his face, John Royder vs Saul Alvarez, Canelo Camel Toe Alvarez. Yeah, nothing much, man. The Jake Paul fight vs Nate Diaz has been signed. I'll do a proper preview of that, but come on, man. You know, Paul's gonna smash up Diaz. I mean, Diaz, he's a great, strong fighter in MMA, but I mean, he's more of a jiu-jitsu guy, isn't he? His jiu-jitsu is pretty superior. I've seen him punch on the pads. I mean, you know, he's okay for a novice, but by that I mean a proper amateur novice. He's gonna get steamrolled by Jake Paul. Apparently, there's some nonsense about him choking a guy out. It seems like a setup. There's this Logan Paul lookalike who's actually been photographed with Logan Paul, and just for no reason, it's like for no reason suddenly gets choked out by Nate Diaz. It seems like nonsense, but allegedly, yeah, allegedly, it's going to the police or whatever the American CPS is. I don't know, man. I don't care. It's nonsense, man. Yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, except fuck the Illuminati beast and the police while you're at it. Alright.